Let's see. 6 reasons why Linux is better than ever. Okay. If you ask PC user about the most accessible OS in 2010, the name Linux would never have turned up in the conversation. After all, Linux distro have been feared by the average PC user for ages, with broken drivers, clunky performance, and a steep learning curve, making it difficult for all but tinkering expert to step into the Linux ecosystem. Aku start guna Linux around 2015. Masa tu aku tengah sambung degree dan aku rasa memang betul lah dengan broken driver dia, dengan performance dia, dengan learning curve dia. Sebab bila korang start daripada Windows kan, Linux ni basically satu benda yang asing lah masa aku nak try Linux kan. Mainly masa tu Ubuntu lah. Sehingga aku pakai Ubuntu 14 tak silap aku. Lepas tu sebabkan ada masalah isu apa kat 14 tu, aku pakai 12. Pengalaman aku memang banyak lah dekat Linux ni. Aku tengah buat assignment, boleh crash, boleh reset, semua kerja aku hilang. So daripada situ aku actually belajar untuk lebih bersedia lah. Letak dalam hard disk, letak dekat Google Drive. Kalau ada projek yang berkaitan dengan software, letak dekat GitHub, Bitbucket ke, GitLab ke. However, the situation is a lot different from what it used to be. Over the past couple of years, the Linux ecosystem has become more user-friendly than it has ever been. From amazing gaming prowess to better privacy, there are plenty of perks to switching to a Linux distribution this day. Whether you are someone who got burned by the clunky Linux distros of yore and consider yourself a casual user who wants to ditch Windows 11, this article will convince you to give the Linux ecosystem a shot. Turning point aku, kenapa aku pakai Linux, is that aku rasa Windows tu tak menarik. Linux tu allow aku untuk jadi lebih kreatif. Aku memang daripada dulu lagi memang, dan lagi satu bila pakai Windows kan, bila kau nak reset, kau kena ada key. Dulu crack lah, guna satu nama crack ni, apa benda tah. So bila dah ada Shopee ni, orang start jual key apa semua. Spend money jugalah kalau korang nak reset RM2, RM5. Daripada Linux kau just bila-bila je kau boleh install macam-macam. So bagi aku, sebagai orang yang tak background tak berapa nak berduit, Linux ni satu playground yang memang aku rasa seronok untuk aku explore. Okay, over the last couple of decades, the Linux kernel have leveraged into a variety distribution, each bringing its own feature, aesthetic, application suite to the table. There are general purpose operating system like Fedora, Linux Mint and Debian alongside the distro derived from them. Tak sebut dah Ubuntu, which combine a stable experience, a sleek UI, a solid compatibility with most packages, and two you could ask for in your daily driver. Dual boot tu pun banyak isu, dan kadang-kadang dual boot tu lah yang buatkan korang punya Windows partition tu boleh kena delete lah, corrupt lah. Pernah pukul 12, pukul 1 pagi install Windows, tak tahulah driver problem ke atau aku salah main partition ke, habis hilang aku punya Windows installation, hilang semua kerja aku, source code aku. And then masa yang sama, Unity Game Engine tengah nak test Linux atau Ubuntu sebagai satu platform untuk diorang support. And then banyak lah, ada satu forum tu memang panjang, aku memang follow gila lah. Sebab time tu memang aku tengah buat game development, memang seronok lah time tu. For folks willing to sacrifice stability to access the latest packages, you got bleeding edge distro like Arch Linux and OpenSUSE. You will also find distribution that cater to niche user such as height efficient DietPi and the cyber security community golden boy Kali Linux. As you go down the Linux iceberg, you will start encountering the obscure distribution that remains out of the limelight. Some more insane than others combine the massive distro collection with the fact that the most of them support live OS functionality to help you get feel for the distribution for actually installing it, and you're bound to come across one that suits your fancy. Pengalaman aku try Linux distro ni kan, bermacam-macam. Aku start dengan Ubuntu, lepas tu aku pergi ke Elementary kot, and then aku back to Ubuntu, and then aku try Pop OS, and then aku try ada satu lagi OS yang ada satu company buat laptop, and then aku start main Arch. Oh, yang masa pindah daripada Debian base, Ubuntu base ke Arch Linux ni memang sakit sebab dah lah masa installation tu kau tak ada network. Jadikan aku punya Android phone sebagai direct hotspot. Macam tu lah, bukannya hotspot yang kau share pakai wifi. Semata-mata nak dapatkan internet dekat laptop tu, install packages so that aku boleh proceed dengan buat partition dan semua. Dan dulu tak ada tau yang tool baru-baru ni. Dulu memang kau kena buat satu-satu. Tertinggal satu memang pisang start balik. Kalau tak dah ada, tak boleh nak connect dengan network. Pisang mat. Rupa-rupa terlupa nak install network punya driver. Dah susah gila nak maintain Arch Linux tu. Aku pergi ke Fedora. Fedora ni memang lama aku pakai. Best, tapi problem dia, okay, setiap Linux, semua distro ni ada problem dia lah. Nanti kita akan pergilah kalau dia ada mention dekat dalam artikel ni. Better security and privacy compared to Windows. Windows hasn't been the most secure and private OS for ages, with intrusive ads, the security nightmare called recall, aggressive data collection. Windows 11 is far from ideal option for security conscious user who want maximum privacy. A few insecure distro aside, the Linux ecosystem boasts a wide range of security and privacy features. For starters, Linux follows a stricter user privilege model and forces you to switch to the root user whenever you want to modify the OS directories, services, and other components. While there are vulnerabilities in Linux code, the attack surface for malware is far smaller than free and open source software. As if that's not enough, Linux distro can be hardened even further using SE Linux and AppArmor security modules. Personally, my favorite aspect of Linux is that the OS doesn't actively spy on me or try to siphon personal information from my PC. Tak semua distro dan tak semua package yang korang install tu doesn't actively spy. Contoh baru-baru ni, Deepin dia dengan open source lah basically. So bila dia hantar package kat open source, dan dia akan ada binary block proprietary yang dia Deepin akan download masa installation, something like that. Sebelum ni juga ada isu dengan satu distro ni, telemetry daripada user, and then dia on by default, bukannya opt-in. Itu pun jadi isu juga dekat Linux community, tapi aku rasa yang tu dah settle down. Aku lupa OS apa. And then sekarang kalau aku pakai Windows, memang aku akan main game je, actually Valorant ke, atau game-game yang tak boleh nak main dekat Linux lah. And then masa aku mula pakai Linux ni, one of the selling point is aku tak dapat virus, ataupun virus tu tak compatible dengan Linux. So masa aku belajar dulu, dia ada satu shortcut virus tau. So bila aku pakai Linux, so aku boleh plug in, plug out USB dengan sesuka hati. Budak UiTM tahu lah. Easier troubleshooting, all thanks to Linux terminal. This one might seem contradictory to common sense, but bear with me for a second. Troubleshooting on Windows typically involve hunting through wave or menu toggles options until you eventually encounter the issue plaguing your daily driver, or give up entirely and resign yourself to fate. Many error codes are borderline useless, and the same can be said about the log. Assuming you are using a general purpose distribution, the system log in the terminal can clue you in on what impacting your Linux system. Solving them is mostly a breeze too, rather than plowing mindlessly through a bunch of automated troubleshooting apps, menus, registry files. You can simply run a couple of terminal commands. As someone who often breaks services, application, and sometimes even the OS itself while working on the project, I can confirm that Linux is a lot easier to troubleshoot thanks to extensive documentation and terminal heavy nature. Linux terminal kan, bagi aku satu benda yang memang mind blown gila. Masa aku transition daripada Windows ke Linux kan, actually susah nak brain kenapa pakai terminal tu. Sedangkan kau boleh je buat satu software yang ada GUI dan orang boleh pakai, klik sana klik sini dan jadi. Tapi bila dah lama pakai Linux kan, dah start pakai Bash dalam korang punya workflow, and then kau dah start pakai Find, kau dah start pakai Grab, kau dah start pakai terminal tools like NetTools, contoh Ping ke Wiget, tak tahulah panggil Wiget ke Wget ke, termasuklah Git nanti aku cerita. Bila dah lama pakai, aku rasa desktop UI payah nak pakai tu, kecuali benda-benda yang heavy interaction dengan mouse, contoh macam browser, OBS Studio masa kau nak stream kan, dokumen contoh, takkan nak pakai terminal kan. So contoh macam kalau aku nak edit file, aku nak buat Git operation, nak debug something, aku rasa pakai terminal is a breeze lah senang cerita. So kalau aku pakai even compare Git dengan GitHub desktop example, ataupun Docker dengan Docker desktop, aku akan prefer yang belah CLI lagi, sebab senang nak pakai sebenarnya berbanding dengan UI ni bagi aku lah. Okay, next, amazing customization option. Every aspect of your favorite distro can be tweaked to your liking. Unlike its rival, Linux distributions are highly customizable to the point where you can alter the appearance of the OS to match your preference. Linux distro bundle the icons, widget, toolbar, and other GUI elements into desktop environment depending on your aesthetic sense. And PC spec, you've got ton of options to choose from, ranging from the resource efficient LXDE to the gorgeous looking KDE Plasma. Even after selecting the desktop environment, you can tweak the GUI elements to your heart content. Then you've got widget application, Windows Manager, which can make your distro stand out even more. And I haven't even mentioned the kernel tweak, shell extension, and terminal emulator that you can use to spice your distribution functionality. Okay, ni pendapat aku beza sikit. Aku lebih suka satu operating system yang kau tak payah nak customize banyak. Yang paling sekejap sekali aku pakai is KDE lah. Sebab aku tak seronok pakai lah. Dia punya menu terlampau banyak, customization terlampau banyak, team dia tak berapa nak coherent dengan desktop environment. So aku rasa macam tak best nak pakai. Aku memang daripada awal minat GNOME. Bagi aku GNOME is a sweet spot lah. Aku pernah pakai FCE, and then LXDE, KDE, GNOME, Mint, Pantheon, Budgie. Wait, apa lagi banyak. Better driver support compared to what it was a decade ago. Before I dove headfirst into distro hopping rabbit hole, I heard so many horror stories about hardware compatibility issue that I never attempt to install Linux distribution. After a few years ago, Linux operating system were infamous for their messy driver. Driver for wireless components and GPUs in particular were a pain to configure on Linux machine, and I still remember the problem I had getting Debian to install the correct driver for my old Lenovo Z1570 in 2016. However, the situation is radically different these days as most devices, peripheral, and PC component works without issue on your average Linux distribution. Heck, even ARM and RISC-V system pair well with Linux, which is something I can't say about Windows. Dulu, kau nak install driver Nvidia, susah gila. Kau nak kena cari driver tu yang betul. Jadi kau nak kena install Nvidia Optimus ke something, atau Prime. Aku pun lupa, aku tak tahu benda masa tu. So banyak benda yang just try and error, dapat dah, berhenti, jangan buat apa-apa. Sekarang, contoh kita ambil contoh Nvidia. Sekarang pun diorang dah start buat open kernel or something. Kita tengok jap. Aku pun lupa jap, aku check. Open kernel. Sebab Nvidia dah ada effort untuk make it compatible dengan Linux ecosystem. Lagi-lagi sekarang tengah hot LLM kan, banyak guna GPU. Kalau nak compare memang jauh gila tu. Sekarang senang. Solid app and game compatibility. You can play most games without taking major FPS hits. If you had to pinpoint when Linux become a worthy option for casual user, I'll say it was after Valve starting working on Proton compatibility layer. Over the last couple of years, Valve has pulled out all the stops to make Proton a feasible option for gamer, and in a strange twist of fate, it's possible to enjoy most of the best-selling titles, barring certain multiplayer games on Linux-powered PC. A statement that would have landed me in the sidewalk had I said it out loud before the late of 2010s. Sebelum ada Proton is based on Wine lah. Pakai Wine memang dahsyat lah, dah lah slow, ada yang tak render betul, kadang tak ada bunyi, macam-macam lah. Sekarang kau pakai Steam tu je, dekat Linux dia dah installkan siap-siap Proton, and then kau dah ada Proton DB. Nak check game mana yang compatible. And then sekarang kalau kau tengok SteamOS kan, Lenovo Legion kot, dia compare dengan hardware yang sama, SteamOS versus Windows 11. SteamOS ni perform better berbanding dengan Windows. Aku rasa Dev2D lah yang keluarkan statement macam ni, and then dia tunjuk dia punya testing apa semua, dan aku rasa legit. Basically kalau korang nak main game contoh The Witcher ke, ataupun game yang ada dalam Steam, basically kau boleh refer kat ProtonDB and check whether game yang kau nak main tu available atau tak, atau dia gold standard ke, silver ke, bronze ke, maknanya tak ready, boleh main tapi ada isu apa semua. Kalau ada, kau boleh je pakai Linux untuk main game. Aku rasa tak ada isu, kecuali game-game yang ada anti-cheat, yang kebanyakannya daripada multiplayer lah. And then ada certain multiplayer yang allow kita main game dekat Linux ataupun SteamOS. It's now the right time to switch to Linux. As someone who works with both Windows and Linux PC on daily basis, I'm declined to say yes. Contrary to popular belief, Linux distributions are more stable than they have ever been, and you are unlikely to encounter weird driver issues out of nowhere. In case you do encounter certain hiccups along the way, you can fix them fairly quickly with terminal commands. That said, this article will be incomplete if I didn't mention the biggest flaw in Linux system. Multiplayer game that require kernel level anti-cheat still unplayable on Linux distribution, so you might want to remain on Windows if you're an esport lover. Although I found a solid alternative for most tools like Adobe Creative Cloud Suite, After Effects is one of rare apps that remains unmatched by other utilities. If you are a motion graphic designer, VFX, Compositing Pro, you can't work without After Effects, you might want to stick to Windows. So, dia tak ada cerita pasal developer, right? Yang ini adalah untuk casual user, in a sense that isu dengan Windows 11 sekarang diorang push Copilot, Recall dan sebagainya yang memang betul-betul mencabar privacy kita sebagai pengguna operating system tu. Aku rasa Linux ni sesuai untuk korang cuba daily drive. Jangan expect tinggi sangat. Kau boleh install Chrome, kau start pakai semua benda yang ada dalam Chrome, dan kau boleh explore Store ataupun FlatHub. Cari alternatif yang korang selalu pakai dekat Windows kat Linux. Contoh macam Microsoft Office, kau boleh pakai WPS ataupun LibreOffice. Kalau kau pakai Photoshop, mungkin kau boleh pakai game. Kalau kau pakai OBS, basically OBS sentiasa ada lah dekat Linux ni. Even Brew boleh kau orang pakai dekat Linux. Tu one plus lah berbanding dengan Windows. Ada certain tu tak support. Contoh macam Ghosty Terminal, mana ada kat Windows ni. Nak bagi contoh yang banyak pun, aku ni apa tu. Korang patut cuba Linux ni. Walaupun kau tak biasa, tak apa. Mesti ada otai kat tempat kerja memang familiar dengan Linux. And then satu lagi, sebelum apa-apa, tak kisahlah kau pakai Linux ke Mac ke Windows. Yang penting, make sure dia tak menjejaskan korang punya kerja. Tu je nasihat aku.